In this video, I am discussing about amendment of Constitution of India. So students, first of all, you have to understand what is the meaning of amendment. So I have written here, what do you mean by amendment? Again, I am writing here, making some changes to the Constitution by adding some new provisions or deleting or both. The key word is changes. That means making some changes. Okay. So amendment to the constitution means changing some provisions of the constitution. There must be some processes laid out by the constitutional makers. Okay, so that is some changes to the constitution. Amendment to the Indian constitution is placed in article 368 and part 20 of the constitution. I have written here in which article and in which part this amendment procedure is being placed. Okay, so one thing is article 368 and another is part 20. So students must have to remember these two things. Then I will go to the procedure that is being laid in the constitution to amend any part or any provision of the constitution. So first thing is that an amendment to the constitution can be initiated by the parliament and not by the state legislature. This is the most important thing you have to remember. An amendment to the constitution can be initiated by the parliament. Parliament, two houses are there, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. So that may be initiated by the Lok Sabha or may be by Rajya Sabha, but that cannot be initiated by the state legislature. Only parliament has the capacity to initiate a bill for amending any part of the constitution. So you have to remember this thing. The second thing, this can be introduced by a minister or any private member. You have to remember this thing. This can be introduced by a minister or any private member. There may be confusion that only the government machinery or only the ministers can introduce a bill for the amendment. No, this is wrong. Any private member means a member from the ruling party or any opposition party, they can introduce a bill, or a minister can introduce the bill for the amendment process. Okay. Then next concept I will go through this. By a special majority, the bill must be passed separately by both the houses of the parliament. There is no provision for joint sitting. Important thing, special majority. Okay, so you have to understand what is special majority. So actually special majority means a majority of the total membership of each house and a majority of 2/3 of the members of each house present and voting. You have to remember this concept. What is special majority? Special majority means a majority of the total membership of each house. That means more than 50% of the total members of that house, and a majority of 2/3 of the members of each house present and voting in that day. Okay, so 2/3 of the members, whatever the members present in that day, that must be more than 2/3 of the members, and that 2/3 members must constitute more than 50% of the total membership of that house. Okay. So this is the special majority. By special majority, the bill must be passed by both the houses of the parliament. President cannot call for a joint sitting in this case. A constitutional amendment procedure cannot be passed by a joint sitting of both the houses of the parliament. Unlike the ordinary bill for the ordinary bill passage, there may be joint sitting, but the constitutional amendment procedure cannot go through the joint sitting. Then I will go to the next step. For the federal features of the constitution, half of the state legislatures must pass it with simple majority. For the federal features means the features which deals with both center and the state. For that case, after passing by special majority in the both the houses of the parliament, the bill must be sent to state legislatures, and half of the state legislatures half of the state legislatures must pass it with simple majority. There is no need for special majority, only simple majority is required in the state legislature. When that criteria is completed, that means half of the state legislatures passed it, then only this can be sent to the president. Okay. After all these procedures, the bill will be sent to the president. I have written here, after all these processes, the bill will be sent to the president. All of you know that our Indian parliament is consisting of Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha and President of India. So after passing through all these steps, this must be given to the president for his assent, and an amendment bill must get the assent of the president, because there is no provision that president can return the bill. So president has to put his assent on that bill. After that, that amendment procedure is being completed. So there may be questions, how many types of amendments are there in Article 368? I am giving you the answer is that there are two types of amendments. So first thing, through the special majority of the parliament and through the ratification by half of the state legislatures with a simple majority. What I have discussed earlier, after passing through a special majority process in the parliament in both the houses and then being ratified by half of the state legislatures with a simple majority, when it will get the assent of president, this is one process I have given in bit A, and I have discussed this thing. This is the first process. That means both the parliament and state legislatures have the role in this process. Okay. So what are the cases which will go through this process? I have given example here. Federal features of the constitution, like matters relating to Supreme Court and High Courts, election matters of the president, lists in the 7th schedule, etc. Elections matters of the president, you know that in election matters of the president, there are roles of both parliament and state legislatures. Supreme Court and High Courts, this is the judiciary process, you know that judiciary process both deals with the center and the states. Then lists in the 7th schedule, in the 7th schedule, you know that there are 3 lists, that is union list, state list and concurrent list is there. So there are also other provisions are also there. So for that case, we will go through this first process of amendment in Article 368. Then the second type of amendment in Article 368 is amendments only through the special majority of the parliament, which generally that deals with only the union matters. Okay. So example is fundamental rights, directive principle of state policies, etc. So these are only going through the process of special majority of parliament or both the houses of the parliament. Then I am giving a short note here. It may be noted that some provisions are there which can be amended by a simple majority of the parliament. Okay, so another important thing, these amendments are not in Article 368. Okay, outside of Article 368 there is also another amendment procedure, that means that requires only simple majority of the parliament. There is no need for special majority of the parliament. For that case, our constitution is said to be neither too rigid nor too flexible. Okay, simple majority of the parliament is required for passing of some of the amendment bills, just like example I have given your citizenship, delimitation of constituencies, etc. All of you know that Citizenship Amendment Act recently passed by the Indian Parliament. This only requires simple majority of the parliament. Then another important concept in this amendment matter, that is Kesavananda Bharati case, that is in the year of 1973. In that case, Supreme Court ruled that Parliament cannot amend those provisions which forms the basic structure of the constitution. One of the important concept, basic structure of the constitution. Okay. So actually there is a question arised in that time, that if Parliament has the power to amend any provisions of the constitution, whether it can amend all the provisions that may contain the right to life of people, that may contain our suppose judiciary nature, suppose our other provisions just like free and fair elections, etc. So in that case, Supreme Court has ruled that Parliament can amend any part of the Constitution, but this should not change the basic structure of the Constitution. So what is that basic structure? Actually, that was not interpreted by the Supreme Court at that time, but from time to time this is being interpreted by the court. So basic structure, just remember these things. Suppose the supremacy of the Constitution, suppose free and fair elections, suppose independence of judiciary, suppose parliamentary system, rule of law, judicial review. These are the things which are coming under basic structure of the Constitution. This cannot be changed by the Parliament. Okay, so you have to remember this Kesmananda Bharati case of 1973, one of the important concept, and UPSC from time to time also asking regarding this question also. So this is all about the amendment procedure of Constitution. Students must have to remember this thing and prepare accordingly, and they have to also remember some of the important developments in recent times. That means some of the important amendments in recent times for the UPSC point of view. So this is all about amendment process of Indian Constitution. Thank you.